The United States Senate passes resolution condemning, quote, blasphemy, heresy, and apostasy laws. The United States Senate has recently passed Senate Resolution 458, sponsored by the Republican Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma. This follows the U.S. House of Representatives' near unanimous vote to pass House Resolution 512, which also called for the global repeal of apostasy, blasphemy, and heresy laws. The Senate's adoption of this resolution solidifies Congress's commitment to prioritizing the repeal of draconian blasphemy and apostasy laws in the United States' relationships with foreign governments. These bipartisan resolutions demonstrate a pledge from the United States government to promote the value of free expression and free speech on a global scale.
Can I play this video?
Well, no, that's from the House of Representatives. So that was what came first, I believe, about 2 weeks ago.
Right. I thought we were gonna, because last time we played this video, it was like really, really good. So I thought this is
that's the same video.
All right. I mean, we already commented on this last week, but this is now confirmed. We were just hoping it will pass, and now it did, right? So this is great. It's going to set a major precedent, and I hope like it becomes a role model for other countries to follow. Guys, don't let them tell you that politicians are not. This needs to be rewarded, right? This needs to be rewarded. Like, you guys, even if you think this doesn't have any teeth, at some point, if you keep rewarding politicians for doing stuff like this, they're going to notice that there's a demand for this. And this is a way, if you signal to them that you care about this, then these other politicians might see this as a way to collect votes. So give them what they want. Whatever their intentions are, if they do something that is right, it needs to be highlighted. It needs to be celebrated, and you need to show other politicians that if they get on this bandwagon, you're gonna congratulate them. Don't be so anti-politician that you think that they're never gonna get anything done that is useful. This is an example. This is a clear example of something that is, really good for the entire planet. So get on that and show some support. Rivka wanted to say something.
Well, yeah. So when we talked about the House passing this, about 2 weeks ago, there was some discussion of whether the Senate would even take it up at all, or would they pass it. And so not only did they pass it, they passed it unanimously.
Even better than in the House.
The House had 3 dissenters, 3 nays. There were some abstentions both in the House and in the Senate, but the Senate resolution passed with unanimous consent. So very, very impressive, very important, really good work. The fact that it was unanimous is very impressive and really great to see. And that's what's pretty interesting too, is that, especially like James Lankford from Oklahoma, not usually on the separation of church and state, bandwagon, but he was the sponsor of this bill, and this bill passed unanimously in the Senate. So good work, United States Senate and House of Representatives.
I've seen him speak on the subject multiple times. I went to a United States hearing, virtually, on the issue of blasphemy laws and him speaking about it. And from, I'm not super familiar with his history, but my observations is that he's, a pretty serious Christian, but he speaks so passionately. He's such an erudite speaker when speaking about the importance of this subject. And I always appreciate him for every single time he talks about this, highlighting it is a fundamental human right for people to have their belief, change their belief, or have no belief at all. He says that every single time.
It's very good that he says that last part, because so many people forget about us atheists when they try to promote tolerance. And sometimes they go as far as saying we all should accept each other because we all worship the same God, as if screw the, we all could agree with each other to screw the atheists, right? Like, can make that a uniting factor. And given that atheists are one of the most discriminated groups on the planet, it's so amazing how many people get together, and when they want to promote tolerance, they forget about atheists. They say like, oh, no matter what religion or God you worship or believe, like, hello, this is atheists are the number one group out there that need protection right now. And so it's really good to see that some politicians actually acknowledging lack of belief as well, which is really nice.
Yeah, so I'm super excited by this, and I'm just so happy that this is going to be the repeal of blasphemy and apostasy laws is going to be a priority in the United States international relationships now. Okay? This is a huge deal, you guys. This means we're coming after foreign governments who abuse their citizens under these draconian laws. Like, and there are currently 84 countries in the world that have some form of blasphemy law on the books, okay? That is an increase from the amount of blasphemy laws that were on the books about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it was around 70. It has increased, okay? Now, the thing is...
to how much? How much is it now?
70, and it's now 84.
It used to be 70 now, but
this is something everybody would assume would have been reduced, but it's actually increased.
And
like
Armin,
the modern
another thing that's increased.
Guys. Not only did it increase in the past couple of years, it increased despite the total repeal of these laws in around 15 to 17 countries.
Wow.
Okay.
Who are these countries that are adding new blasphemy laws? For what goddamn reason?
Well, like there's been an issue with a German internet law that is widely perceived to be against blasphemy. Yay! And this is like for our international audience. I really hope that this really gives you guys a lot of inspiration.
You have to say what you say yes to, because some people are listening to our podcast.
I don't know how to say this name. I'll just call you Mob. Mob is saying, as someone who lives in the Middle East, I'm so excited. Exactly. Like your rights are going to be prioritized in a whole different level in our international relationships. Oh, there was something else I was going to say. So there are 84 countries in the world. That is over a third of the world's countries that have blasphemy laws in the books, okay? On the books. However, there are a little over 40 countries in the world that actually enforce it, okay? So there is the opportunity for a lot of low-hanging fruit to be cut from this tree from all of these countries that do not actually actively enforce these laws. They're just sitting there, but they're not being enforced. So I think that is a room for a lot of improvement. I think you guys have more comments, but Joseph also had a very dumb comment. I'm sorry, Joseph. Joseph is saying atheists need activists now. The whole point is we shouldn't care. What do we need activism for? And no offense, every country should just worry about themselves. Joseph, are you not concerned about the fact that there are over 10 countries in this world where you can be put to death by your state for leaving Islam? Because I'm pretty concerned about that. That affects a lot of people. Are you not concerned about the state of secularism in India, where the dissolution, the corruption, the consistent destruction of the separation of church and state in India affects 1 in 7 people on this planet? Okay, that's pretty concerning to me. And both of those examples I gave affect a lot more people than just atheists. Okay, what we do benefits everyone.
Well, I want to agree with that, but I also want to take it on a different tactic and say, sure, just worry about yourself, but just worrying about yourself, unfortunately, especially in this globalized environment, economy, that world that we live in now, all of the actions of a lot of other countries or people or sets of belief systems do impact other people, particularly if they bring that to you, either on, as they make a choice about it, or somehow it clashes with in terms of like different society groups within a country. And then also, for example, the fact that this law talks about the United Nations, this resolution talks about the United Nations, which has been repeatedly in the last few years trying to make a United Nations resolution about not being able to mock or criticize religion. So that is something that's worldwide, but we're a part of and we participate in, so it affects us. And then also this idea of our values as Americans in terms of freedom of expression, freedom of thought, the freedom to have a religion or have no religion. Those are the things that we want to be promoting. And I think that countries just worrying about themselves, that was a lot of the policies that was going on, particularly in the United States, the Wilsonian idea, the appeasement ideas and things like that ended up happening that led to some really horrific human rights violations all over the world that we ended up involved in, regardless of whether we wanted to at some point or not. So there's no leaving anybody 100% alone in terms of policies when they're impacting your country or when you're doing business with them and they want something from you. That's a really good negotiating point.
Yeah, Joseph can go fuck himself. Unlike people like Joseph here, we actually care about our fellow human beings regardless of their location that they were born in. We're not just atheists, we're also humanists. And people like Joseph, if they don't give a shit about their fellow human beings, they could stop caring and they could go fuck off. We care, and we want to see whatever we can do to improve the lives for the people who live on this planet, not just for the people who live close to us or within the borders that we have been born in. So this anti-humanist attitude is something that we fight against, and we have been very effective at it. And yeah. So yeah, Joseph, you can go fuck off.
Yeah, Joseph is stating, I also stated that the U.S. or United Nations all they can do is ask and apply economic pressure to those countries. Good, they should.
Yeah.
Promote a way, but there is not a thing a country can do to another country on a one-on-one basis. You're assuming I don't care about other humans, but it should be self-determination. Would you argue self-determination about the Yahtzees, as we call them here during World War II, for those people who don't know what I'm talking about?
I care, but we're not going to do anything about it. No.
For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we have to use coded language here because of YouTube. We call the bad people in World War II Yahtzees, okay? If you can't figure it out, I don't know what to tell you. That self-determination in certain circumstances doesn't work very well, does it? Oh my gosh. Okay. I got triggered.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else to say?
No, yeah. I just want to say that these people, they're just like, oh yeah, we care, but we don't want to do anything about it, and it's up to them. No, we live on this planet together. We share this planet together, and we have to help each other out. These borders should not stop us to, this is people like, yeah, I care, but we're just gonna.
But don't put me in a position where I have to think, feel, or act,
or I could do anything about it. Yeah. Because it's outside of these borders, I'm gonna wash my hands off of it. Yeah. An excuse to completely ignore any responsibility that you may have for your fellow human beings. You're basically selfish people who just American centric or UK centric, or just only care about people that are within their own backyards. They're selfish, self-centered people. Yes, humanism has no borders. Perfect summary. Thank you. All right.
Oh my gosh. P.O. is saying, are you assuming people in those countries don't care about themselves and need
what an
you?
Idiot comment.
P.O., in certain circumstances, there are entire populations that are being held hostage by their effing government, okay? Like,
what?
They do care about them. They do care about themselves, but they still fucking need us, okay?
And no one's saying that no one can't advocate for themselves. What we're trying to do is stand in solidarity with people whose values we hold this important, and we're trying to use what influence we might have to aid our fellow human beings and to end suffering.
So it's very interesting
So
because
when someone reaches out their hand to you to help you up when you've fallen down, it's not an assumption that you can't get up. It's simply a message of brotherhood and compassion to help you up.
It's very interesting because these seem the same idiots. If you see like a country, for example, from, I don't know, Indonesia helps people in the Philippines, right? Because they care about their neighbors or something, they would see that as a message. Oh my God, so much support. It's just only like white countries or Western European or North American countries that they want not to extend their care and passion for their fellow human beings, right? It's just they see this as any sort of involvement because they have this history of like, ruling over or being abusive to people. They don't see that there's any other way for one people from one country to all of a sudden extend their care to people from another country other than that abusive. They've been brainwashed to think that any kind of relationship has to be abusive, right? Or to control over the rights and freedom of people of another country. They don't know there's an alternative. There's ways for you to care about other human beings and people from other countries. Every country, people from no country is in isolation, right? Every other country could use the help and support from people from other countries as well. And again, if we treat this planet as something that we all share together rather than each country on its own, every country on its own, we all progress faster together. Anyways, Susanna, you say, but then we have to go to the next news.
Yes, I just want to highlight like two last really good comments. Katie is saying, yes, U.S.-India ties are likely to get tighter in the near future, so this is really good news for India as well. I agree, because the situation there is getting real rough. Mars also said, there's also the matter of the Tutus and Hutsis, the Uyghur and Rohingya Muslims. No, Justif and Pio, we are humanistic principles for all people. I agree.
I just want to highlight one comment to show how dumb these people are. People, I don't give a fuck about your words.
Same.
Says the person that is constantly getting triggered by our words. Sure, but you don't care about words. And also subscribe to our newsletter, because if we get removed from all these platforms, at least we could reach out to you. And guys, by the way, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you get a free copy. Where's your copy, Susanna? Get it. We're doing promotion. You get a free. It's not even promotion. It's free. Okay, so if you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description, you get a free copy of Why There's No God. Come on, like I'm handing it out for free. Okay, it's a bestseller on Amazon, and you get it for free. So subscribe to our newsletter, and you get a free copy of Why There's No God sent to you. Link in the description.